Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you happen to be watching this. Risco in Tokyo coming at you with some more. Our tags aren't right. Oh, Quill, it is wonderful to see you. I slurps down from a crack in the ceiling like mysterious goo. I love that. I love that for you. I love that for us. Let me just... Blah! Quill! Quill, my brain meats suck, and I hate them, and they don't work, and that's okay, but it is kind of frustrating. I gotta get the right screen on, and then I gotta fix our game. Because we're listed under games and demos again, and I don't know why it's gotta be like that. I mean, I'm glad I kind of finally figured out how to fix it, but it's still kind of a pain in the butt, you know? It's a butt pain. And I mean, that's not where I'm at. I need to be careful not to set the apartment on fire. I'm very at not setting the apartment on fire. I feel like that's kind of a big thing. How you doing, Quill? Is life treating you well? I'd meant to send you a message yesterday after the stream, but then I fell asleep because that happens. But I just wanted to say specifically, like, I know you've had to leave early because of work stuff recently, and I just wanted you to know, like, that's super okay. That I want your meat space to come first, and I'm glad that you're here, even if it's only for like a shorter time. Oh gosh, I just saw your note. I mean, not your note, like it was a note that wasn't in chat, but like your chat note. Dearest mother found my dresses. Oof. Was there fallout? Should we worry? I'm hoping that we don't need to worry, but should we worry? Because that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a lot. Us! Floppable, it is wonderful to see you. I hope that you're doing very, very well. Hope that life is not giving you any more stress than you can deal with. Quill says she went through my wardrobe against my wishes, refused to talk about it or admit what she saw, but I know she found them. That's... how are you going to be violating the privacy of a whole grown adult? That's just really... Yes! Floppable! Yes! We are reading off the same hymnal. She was kind of cranky when talking about some old clothes stinking of cat. What the hell? Be like, kind of cranky that you're up in my stuff. That you ain't got no right to be in my stuff, and then you're talking about smelling a cat? Unless that's some kind of non-family friendly euphemism, which would be a choice. Man, that's just like, that is the suck. Quill, I'm sorry that you got to deal with that, because that's a load of hot trash. I'm coming out and saying it. I'm trying to feel out like how non-family friendly I want to be, because I feel very non-family friendly. Oh, are the servers gonna be wonky again? I would rather they did not. I did, this is not related to your conversation at all, but I did do some save data management, so we shouldn't run into any problems like we did last week with the, like, can't save the profile thing. So I'm hoping that's not an issue. Oh, because it's the World Cup. Of course it's going to be all soccer stuff. I don't give a poop about soccer. Context contest missing marble. There's a new contest going on. I'm not going to enter it just because I don't think I've got the brain power for it, but see what they got. Cool says, I'd warned her years ago to stay out of my drawers and cupboards for the sake of my privacy and her queerphobic peace of mind. She violated that boundary, so now my dresses are proudly sitting in with my regular clothes. As, you know, honestly, as they should be. You should not have to hide this stuff. Like, hide that aspect of yourself from your family. They have no right to force you to do that. I understand for, like, piece of living situation that has been necessary. But glad is not the word that I really want here, considering, you know, the full context of the situation, but happy if at nothing else your dresses are proudly sitting in with your regular clothes where they ought to be. Welcome to second context contest. Honor of LittleBigPlanet, high words, mouth talking. In honor of LittleBigPlanet 3's 8th birthday, it is your task to copy and decorate this story level for Swoop's elusive final marble. What theme will you choose to round out Bunkin Lagoon's trilogy of locales? Bell Tower, Whale. Now the third is up to you. You know, that I feel kind of like it's a little bit of a weird flex for them to lampshade the fact that they didn't actually complete the third, like, story segment of LBP3 and then asking you to do it. That's kind of, I feel like that's a lot. Oh, Alice, how you doing? Hope life is going well for you. Hope that there's not too much stuff on your plate at the moment. Realize there's a lot of plate stuff. I've got news. I'm gonna wait till more people show up, but I do have news, not bad news, just weird news. Welcome to blank. Oh, it's certainly blank, isn't it? This trial will surely determine if you are worthy of Swoop's third marble. No time to stand and gulp, though. Follow me at once to learn about blank. Hurry, don't keep your queen waiting. So I think, like, this contest is... You're just decorating? Like, I think you're supposed to keep the gameplay and then just decorate the levels. So, I mean, honestly, that's something I could do. Because if there's anything I'm kind of good at, it's decoration. Quill says, anyways, other than that, I had a peaceful day. Kids at work were pretty quiet and manageable. I like that. That sounds nice. We're gonna go with nice on that one. Quiet and manageable kids for the win. I do appreciate this level that they've actually set it up so that you can largely keep the score chains. I find that a lot of races don't really manage their score bubbles very well, so that you can keep a chain going through the entire race. And that's like half the fun of the race. Let me just get to the end here, and I'm going to peep what you said. I noticed Floppable saying pew pew, so I assume that it's lasers. I'm hoping that it's lasers on face, because those are awesome. We are big fans of the face lasers. Oh, you can't touch the red blocks. Oh, well, that's something that could be communicated to the players a lot better. I'm gonna go with that. Oh, fudge. Oh, fudge. Oh, double fudge. It had such a nice little bit of momentum going, and then just, like, dropped. Oh, good guess. Cool says, got my face lasered, partially completed an old pact with a late friend to try Fago if I got the chance. If I fully complete the pact, I get a new invocation. I mean, I'm very supportive of the face lasers. That is awesome, and I've got both thumbs in the air right now. Can I do that with my actual character? I don't know if the thumbs actually pop. I don't know about the Fago. Like, I appreciate that this is an important thing, that kind of sorts something out with a friend. Even if, as you said, a late friend. But, Fago is kind of... Fago's a lot. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a good lot, it just kind of is a lot. What happened to my hair? I hate that. I guess we could do the peace fingers. I finished that level and I instinctively, my thumb reached to go to save recording. Cool says I couldn't get the original Fago flavor, but I can say I've imbibed a Fago product. You know, sometimes that's the best that you can do. Flopple says I had a comfy day. My partner got me a Beezlemon, a Digimon I like, model kit. So I've been slowly working on that. There's only so long I could spend hunched at a desk because back issues, so I'm taking my time, though I enjoy making model kits. That sounds awesome. Now I'm going to check out Beezlemon because, like, Digimon, like, the character design, the art direction to Digimon is just frighteningly random. And you've got stuff that's like on the Pokemon end of, oh, this is cute, it's twee adjacent. And then you've got, like, Eldritch Horrors, and then you've got, like, smut. And I don't know what this is. He's an edgy boy, a real edgy boy. Okay. Beezlemon. There's a Beezlemon deck? Oh my god, look at this guy! I shouldn't laugh, but, like, he's got, like, the 6-inch spikes on his boots? No wonder he wears a shin guard. Because he's gonna be, like, anytime he leans forward, he's gonna be stabbing his shins? He's got 2 guns, like a friggin' 90s cartoon character? Also, Hive, I saw you come in. I hope that you're doing really well tonight, Hive. I am just, like, I am enamored with Beezlemon. I'm here for Beezlemon. Floppable's partner picked up a Beezlemon model kit for the Floppables. He's a member of the SWAT Cats. No! Floppable would never stand a member of the SWAT Cats. Floppable is a lady of eminent taste. Alice, please. His type is Demon King. Now, Quill, I will point out that does not abnegate Alice's assertion that Beezlemon is a cop. Bellstermon is just, what if Beezlemon was a girl? I want the answer to that, but I feel like it's going to be like something designed by Todd McFarlane. Listen, SWAT Cats is also cool, and There's the lady that gave me feeling. Oh my god, Belstramon is awesome. Are these evil yo-yos? These are not evil yo-yos, they're bullets. Okay, so that picture was, maybe not clear. Yeah, I could get behind Belstramon's design. This fan art where she actually has a dress and not just like... Are boob covers family friendly? I'm not sure, like we're not... I mean, just as words that go together, because it looks like a boob cap that she's got. This other one with like the dress and the satanic pentacle, I think is a little bit maybe. Felina Feral. I love the fact that Hive just knew who you were talking about right off the bat. But SWAT Cats, I mean, like, the SWAT in SWAT Cats is cop, right? I can spell. Ex-cops, they got fired. Oh, that's... kind of a weird flex. Like, I don't go around calling myself a teacher after I stopped teaching. Like, that job is done. And to specify that the job is done, I no longer refer to that job. It's a different character. Okay. Beezlemom and Beezlemom. That would be a very different character, I feel like. Beezlemon in Digimon Cyber Sleuth evolves into Beezlemon BM, which is Beezlemon with wings and a motorcycle. What the hell? What? I don't not love it, but also, like, I could see Evolution giving something wings, but how does Evolution also tag in a motorcycle? He gets on his motorcycle to follow behind you when he's in your party. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I can't believe that Beezlemon digivolves to have bad manners. Well, I mean, could also digivolve to become Bill Murray, which is kind of like... Is that better or worse? Beezlemon, Bill Murray, in Lost in Translation. Bill Murray's a bad person, so it's worse. I think we discussed this before. I feel like this has come up. That Bill Murray is kind of a D-bag. Felina Feral is furry Rally Vincent for Western kids? Bill Murray's a dingus. Okay. We do not stan a dingus? Alright. I mean, I'm okay with teleportation. I do kind of wish that was a little bit better signposted. Not in the fact that it wasn't signposted, like, clearly, but it also kind of was just like... But... It's just a big sticker panel? Holy crumb! Autocorrect. Holy crap, autocorrect. But also Bill Murray Bay is kind of hilarious. It's okay, Alice, it happens. That's a big autocorrect bluey. So yeah, understandable. This is weird. Do I have boost boots? Like, why do we have the boosty things? I do not. Hyde says Season 2 of SWAT Cats had animation done in Japan and became anime influenced. That's kind of hilarious, honestly. Hive is correct. We did spend a lot of time playing an LBP looking game where swearing was allowed. It was bound to happen. Level, I feel like there's a thing that you want me to do. but you're not quite making it clear what that is, and that makes me a little bit sad. Oh, maybe... No? Eh? Hive does have it right, though. Like, there's probably going to be, like, a little bit of getting used again to the fact that LBP is LBP. Bubble says, I mean, as far as furry icons go, though, Lieutenant Fox Vixen from the North Korean propaganda cartoon Squirrel and Hedgehog is... What? Wait, what? Squirrels are making propaganda cartoons for North Korea? I feel like a lot has been revealed to me, and I don't know if I appreciate it. What? What is this? This is kind of a lot, and I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, I mean, granted, Google image search is going to bring up a lot of stuff that's definitely not family friendly, but what? Why are these rats being impaled on spikes? Okay, I can't with that. Quill says, type of guy who walks behind the bar of various clubs violates a ton of regulations by handing out tequila shots and costs the business a ton in lost revenue. That's pretty garbage. Bill Murray, you are garbage. Okay, but seriously, level. Oh god, Risco, why would you do that? There's clearly a way to beat this because somebody has. But Safe Search is on, thankfully. I eschew Safe Search, and that's on me. I deserve everything I get. Hive says, anyway, SWAT Cats is great as far as episodic American cartoon action cartoons from the 90s goes. It's a particular blend of 90s extreme, 50s sci-fi, and anime. Extreme! Also, the character names are often chat puns. I mean, it's an American 90s cartoon. Kind of, they have to be. What? Like, you want me... I feel like you want me up there level, but you give me no means with which to access this? No, that's not what we wanted to do. Thank you, though. Like, what is this? What is this? Oh, fudge. Oh, cat puns. I honestly thought that said chat puns, and I was like, you know, like, so basically our brand of humor. Kronos! Kronos says, it's wonderful to see you. I hope you're doing very well. This is all kind of, this level is a lot, Kronos, and I hate it. It's amazing how the camp inherent in its adoration of 50s sci-fi actually effectively cuts the 90s extreme. I like that. I'm here for it. Like, is that what we're supposed to be doing? Because that doesn't feel like that's what they want. What the heck? Level, communicate with me. You go through the trouble of putting up that big old ugly L1, and then just this? Fudge it. You know what? You know what, Level? I gave you a chance. I feel like I gave you your chances, and you spat on me. You spat on me. For no reason. There was no reason for the spitting, and yet there it was. Okay. You know what? Fine. Fine. Be that way. So, it's a neat idea. Like, you're not wrong. It is a neat idea, but either there was something that was not being communicated to the player that I should have been able to recognize, or it was just not set up well. But yeah, I'm not here for it. Hive says, and it has a 1930s gangster husband and wife duo who got turned into robots and are still 1930s gangster husband and wife. I kind of love that, honestly. I'm here for that kind of energy. The gangster wife was who I had a crush on. I mean, like, I gotta say, that whole era of women's fashion, especially in the gangster mall, like, side of the fashion thing, is definitely a look. And it's a look that I'm here for. I am here for it. The ground is grabbable. Excuse me, the ground is grabbable? How could you go through all this trouble and leave your ground grabbable? You didn't seem like an Angora or Callie Briggs fan. Okay, first off, Angora is a fabulous name for a character, and I love it. But second off, are you talking to me or are you talking to Alice? Why, excuse me, level creator, why did you make your hanging objects make fart noises when I grab them? Because I hate that. Talking to Alice, okay. There's also a character called Dr. Abyssinian. Oh my god. Okay, like, Angora here is basically just April O'Neil, but a furry. And I'm not against that. Although I do not appreciate the fact that they kind of whitewashed April O'Neil for the cartoon. And also Baxter Stockman. Like, those are both pretty egregious. I mean, Deputy Mayor Callie Briggs has definitely got a look to her. It's kind of weird that they chose, like, fur colors that are also pretty close to skin tones. Oh, fudge. Is that... Gosh darn it. Well, I guess we're in it to win it now. Quill says, had a panic that I lost my lapis lazuli necklace today, but I managed to find it. I'm glad that you managed to find it at least, because that would have sucked. Which is kind of one of those completely obvious statements. I think this is what everybody's insides look like. And seeing as I'm probably the only person who's directly seen anyone's insides with my own eye meets, you're just going to have to take my word for that. I mean, I hope I am, at least, because I have a professional excuse. Oh no, Kronos, that sucks! Can you get it repaired, or is it just like it's too old and the metal's degraded? Oh, this is Rice-Key Pop. Right. Right, this is them. So this is not as bad as Song 2. Song 2 would have been the real problem. Did we just come out the dinosaurs? Oh my god. Is it... Kronos, did you play Sack Thing's Prehistoric Moves? Is this like... Because I never played that DLC. Is this, accurate to the content? Because it's kind of gauche. I'm just gonna come out and say, it's kind of gauche. I have zero memory. I'm just saying, they didn't have to, like, highlight the fact that you're actually coming out of the dinosaur's anus. What did I miss? Hive says Callie also went super duper big anime floofy hair in season 2 when animation switched to Japan. I did notice that. Mine have music from Donkey Kong Country playing at all times. I would probably get away with that, Quill, honestly. Kronos says, I think one of the links weakened over time, so I think it's salvageable. Okay. I'm going to cross my fingers then. Don't remember it being very fun. This wasn't very fun, honestly. Hive says, I've seen people's insides, but because of Anatomy for Beginners, which was televised for free on Air TV. That's amazing! They just showed you people's guts on TV for free? Australia is a place of wonders? Yeah, we got our toes crossed for you, Kronos. We never had that. I had to go to the library and get out the medical textbooks. You know, the ones that kids aren't supposed to look at because they got like all the full color plates in them, and they had those flimsies where it was like you had like a picture of, you know, the one layer of the body's like insides, but then there would be like these like clear plastic pages over top of it, and it would be like skin, and then you flip the page, and then like there's the muscle, and you flip the page, and then there's like the subcutaneous, and which would come before the muscle, but you know what I mean. Those were so cool. They showed a dissection on TV. Now, Hive, did they show a dissection or did they show an autopsy? Because I feel like those would be, they would have different implications. Quill says, I had a medical textbook special interest as a kid. I learned a lot about treating injuries, minor injuries. I probably should have learned more than I did, but I did not. Which doesn't sound good for me. I will admit. A dissection for medical purposes, not an autopsy. Gotcha. I was a neighborhood medic as a kid. That's actually kind of cool. Hex, the Legend of the Towers ride. Alright, we'll give it a shot. Alice says, we had first aid classes in civics class, so I learned a bit. I mean, I learned first aid for scouts, but I didn't really retain a lot of it, unfortunately. Certainly not today. Wow, this is neat looking. Am I here? Do I exist? Like, this is certainly a scene. Now, I'm in this contraption, but, like, what does it do? Please move right along each row and take your seats. We need 4 people in each bay. Children must sit on the bench. Oh, wait, it's actually talking. Is this going to be spoopy? I feel like this is going to be spoopy, and I'm here for it. This is actually not bad recording for LBP. Usually voice recording just sounds like utter poo. Now, it is mimicking a Tannoy, so that might be part of it. Civics in Portugal is like all-around... The all-around class in Portugal, you learn about human rights, sex ed, and how Portuguese law works, but also finances and in general how to live lessons. That actually sounds really useful. I did not have a class like that as a child. Okay, so, but like... Does this do a thing, or are we just kind of in it? Quill says, kind of weird how I went from medic kid to being unable to stand the sight of blood. Wonder what happened there. Hopefully nothing traumatic. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that it wasn't anything traumatic. Well, I mean, I can't say that this isn't neat, because this is actually really quite neat. But I'm also a little bit at a loss of like, okay, but and? Closest thinking about it, it's weird that I became a teacher while my siblings went into nursing. Do you feel like, thank you, strobe lights. That's not great. I'm really sorry. There's a little bit of a strobe effect going on here. Would have been nice for the warning level. Would have appreciated that. My apologies. Like, I honestly had no idea that that was going to be a thing. It's over, at least, if anybody looked away because of the strobing. Like, the strobing does seem to be done. And Kronos, I don't know what this is even. Maybe just an eye candy? I mean, it might just be an eye candy level. Although we seemingly can walk around now. But I don't know where an exit is. Are we just supposed to leave? Alice is pretty good even with underfunding right-wingers. I don't like it because you learn about queer people and climate change. There. So, give me a second. So there have been attempts at making a non-mandatory class where it doesn't count to the note and you don't need to send your kids to it, but all those attempts failed, thankfully. I'm glad they do, because it does sound like a really good class, Alice. Also, Phantom Strom! It is wonderful to see you. I hope that you're doing very well tonight. I hope that life is not giving you any more stress than you feel like you can deal with. We're kind of confused about this level, although it is nice looking. Don't really know what we're supposed to be doing, so we might just bounce out of this. But yes, it is very good to have you. Also, Kronos, final batch of the JoJo anime is around a week away. Are you excited for that? Because I know that, like, Netflix's handling of JoJo seems to have been a bit hit and miss for you. Although maybe that was more in the promotion than the production department. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any exit or way to progress things, so we are going to drop out. Arachno! Yos! Phantom Strom, absolutely. Please feel comfortable just lurking. You don't need to say anything. But it is very nice to have you in, and I hope that you're doing very well. Also, Arachno, to you as well. I hope that you are doing wonderfully. I hope the day of turkeying did not cause any pain in your life, because I know that the turkeying can sometimes bring with it the pain depending on family situations. Or also just eating a lot of turkey. I usually just would eat like an entire pound of pasta. Hive says, I hope you don't mind that I'm trying to enjoy Pokemon some more. No! No, please, no. It's 100% okay, Hive. Pasta is good. I am a lover of the pasta. Are you gonna load servers? Pokemon's still very fun to me. There we go. Oh, we saw Truman already. I sure hope it doesn't do the thing it did again. Do you mean about LBP or do you mean about JoJo? Arachno says yes, it was good. It got a tad bit annoying at one point, but it wasn't anything that I don't deal with regularly. Other than that, it was really nice. My brother even came home to visit. I'm glad about that. Oh, that was Hive saying it doesn't do the thing that it did again. Sorry, for... Hive, why do I always and constantly mix you and Kronos up? Your names are not the same color anymore. Your names are not spelled in any way similarly. But I looked at it, I was like, oh, Kronos is maybe talking about... You've got swords! That could be it! Then I hope that the Pokemon doesn't do the thing that it did before. Yes. Arachno, I'm really glad that you saw your brother. And that the holiday was largely decent. I'm gonna do a level, and then I've got like, I might take an early break, cause I got like, today was a weird day. I've had a day. Although I think Arachno, you did read some of it probably already in Auntie's Discord, but us. Hiruna, it is wonderful to see you tonight. What is this? What? What is it, though? The sauna sponge. You can bounce on the different platforms. Oh, spawn a sponge. I mean, it's neat and everything, but... It's got a 3-second cooldown. I'm just trying to figure out, like, as an object, what is it? I think it's a sewing needle. Hive says in 2022, after nearly 5 years of development hell, the series reboot has been picked up by media-based Toons Media Group. Ironically, India is one of the countries with the biggest fan base for the show. Wait, are we talking about SWAT Cats? Are we still talking about SWAT Cats? That's not something that I would have expected. Oh! Quill, you did talk about that a little bit with me in the background, so... And that is perfectly fine. Why didn't I grab? Like, I thought this was supposed to let me grab. 3-second cooldown, got that. Do I have to, like, take this off really quickly to be able to grab onto stuff? Every country has their American show that they're really into. Level, what are you doing to me? Oh, you're gonna kill me. Is the level saying that I should take my break early? Do. I don't know, what are you doing here? Okay, we got the bounce. Take that off. Okay, we grabbed. Red and blue sponge moves through layers. Red sponge goes forward, blue sponge goes backwards. Okay. Walker Texas Ranger being big in Germany? What? Why, though? That's even weirder than David Hasselhoff. Yes, gonna second what Hive has said. Could you do the thing? Not as big as the A-Team, to be honest. The A-Team is kind of amazing, though. Ludo, it is wonderful to see you. Hope that life is being very kind to you. As kind as one could hope in these times. We have been... Excuse me. We have been talking SWAT Cats. Oh, come on. I dig what you're doing, and I do appreciate it, but you're kind of going about it in the most annoying way possible. And I hate that. Oh, fudge! Was vibing until the spikes in the low bounce pads? Yes. It's really awkward, though. Like, this power-up is very awkward. and I kind of hate it. I was just someone yesterday in a server I hang out in posted a clip of an episode of the A-Team where the team forms a radical farmers union to fight evil rich land people. Yes, that is a thing that did in fact happen. A-Team is like really weird because they set them up as these hardcore mercenaries, but because it was the 80s, basically every episode they're just like they're helping people. That's their gig. They're helping the needy. You're not wrong, Hidunda. It is kind of jank looking. What the f- No. 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 I refuse. I eschew. That was a whole... I'm a bit salty. How are you gonna do a thing like that? Luda says, my favorite part of the A-Team is how many gunfights there are, but nobody ever gets shot. I mean, it was the 80s. Everybody had Stormtrooper Academy gunfire licenses. Alice has never watched that much of A-Team. Knight Rider was the bigger 80s American show here. Gotcha. Standards and practices. Standards and practices. We have no respect for standards and practices. No respect at all. I'm gonna put on a little bit of music so I can take a quick early break. Put on some Bike Off the Clock because they're an easy listen. Knight Rider appears to have been bigger outside of the US than the A-Team. That's unforgivable, honestly. I mean, yeah, I can jam with Knight Rider. I am not here for Knight Rider, but I mean, A-Team though. B.A. Baracus. Alice says, to the point there was a tour in Portugal of the replica for the talking car from Knight Rider. That would be Kit. And my dad went to it, and the line took 7 hours to finish? Oh my god. That's... Tell me, did the car at least know Portuguese? Because I kind of feel like it wouldn't be fair if the big brain Kit did not know Portuguese. Who wouldn't want to see Kit? I mean, me? I would maybe have stood in a 7-hour line for Killdozer. Maybe Killdozer. Definitely not Kit. Kit was just a car with a red light in the front of it. There were no spikes on that car. That car had no je ne sais quoi. Street Hawk was the best. The intro music is awesome. You're not wrong, Ludo. You're not wrong. Knight Rider theme did whip. That you are 100% correct on that. Alright, let's find a quick song. Then, I will be back quickly. We will have Christine, okay. Like, there's a lot to recommend in Christine. Like, I think Carpenter does a much better job in that movie than is given credit for, and I do think the movie is a better movie than it's given credit for, but it is an 80s movie that is aping a lot of 50s aesthetic because it's King, so of course, and there's bits of it, or maybe I'm thinking more of the book, but there's definitely bits of it that are just kind of like, that's uncomfortable in ways that I don't think was 100% intended. But there's some really great FX work in Christine. Like, honestly and seriously, there's some really good work done there. Luda says, I'm pretty sure some 90s rapper also sampled the Knight Rider theme. Yes. Quill, you get head pats from me. I will give you head pats for your restraint. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alice says the issue with King adaptations is that they're still adapting King. I mean, yes. Yes, that's part of it, I think. Also, I think, like, there's a lot of what makes King work is kind of internal discussion that doesn't necessarily translate to film very well. Kronos says, when a hermit crab needs to molt, it needs to discard a shell to find a bigger one. Most hermit crabs molt every 12 to 18 months. I knew that, Kronos, because I love hermit crabs. Kronos says, the most surprising thing about Stephen King to me, personally, is finding out the dude is still alive. Like, money will buy you health. He did cut the drugs, so there's that in his favor, but he was in that massive car accident, so there's that as a point against. But yeah, he's still somehow kicking around. Night Flyer and Dark Half still slap, though, the movies. I haven't seen Dark Half in a long time. I should rewatch that. That's got, Fudge. Oh, wait, no? I'm thinking of a different guy, I think. The guy who plays Alan Pangborn in Needful Things is not the same guy who plays Alan Pangborn in Dark Half, I think. And now I can't remember, like, that actor's name. It's not Ed Asner. It's an Ed, but Ed Harris? Maybe? Why am I even looking this up? I should be taking my break. My favorite Romero. Wait, did Dark Half do... Oh, he did do... I had forgotten all about that. Dangus Dingus. But that's your favorite Romero? Because, I mean... Really? Because there's, like, a lot of good Romero. Dark Half is good. At least in my memory it's good, but it's not like... It's not Dawn of the Dead. Oh my gosh! Michael Rooker played Alan Pangborn in Dark Half. I did not know that. Go Michael Rooker. I kind of like Michael Rooker. Wait. Let me... Quill is also blessing us with a marine fact. Hermit crabs will line up to exchange shells when a larger shell becomes available. They will measure each other and line up from biggest to smallest so everybody can get a shell their size. I love that, Quill. Also, Ludo, my brain just completely stopped. I would love to hear your great news. Please share your great news, but I am going to take a really quick pause to take a break, and then I will read the news when I get back. But I'll be back. Alright, now I'm gonna have my cigarette break while on the microphone so that we could talk. Let me quick check what I missed. I says it is weird that my first experience with Michael Rooker was Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. No, I don't think that's weird at all. Ludo says there's a silly frog track sampling the Knight Rider theme. When you put silly in quotes like that, Ludo, is that like a Pepe thing? Because that sucks. But you said you had great news, and it wasn't great in quotes, so... Oh! The ableist frog. The ableist frog? I am the ableist frog from Sweden? A naked Swedish frog? Okay, look, I guess I am extremely blessed, Ludo, because I've got no idea what the heck anybody is talking about. The only frog meme that I know is the racist one that we don't use. So it may be that has taken up all the frog brain space that I have. I was in Japan by that time. Okay. I mean, okay, so it might have been in the Lacuna before I had internet, but when I was already here. It's a ringtone character. God, these are meaningless distinctions to me. I'm not gonna look the thing up. I do appreciate that Ludo did catch the Silent Hill joke. This is... Let me take a quick check of the name, Phantom Strum. This is BC's Little Music Gallery by Bicoastal Clock. I've gotten some of my show's background music from this gallery. It's all pretty good stuff. Ableist Frog also had a PS2 racing game? What? I may very well do that, Kronos. I would like to play demo again tonight, honestly. Ableist Frog had a hit single. What is this world that I am living in? Oh, this is pretty good. Okay, well, Ableist Frog had the Knight Rider theme, but Ableist Frog is not racist Frog, so problematic, but in a different way. Gotcha. Knight Rider Frog Remix is a reggaeton track. I love this. Alice says Europeans suffered the most because while America most likely got just already existing songs, Europe had a million clones of Ableist Frog. I hate that. Its cover of Axel F has 3.6 billion views on YouTube. I feel trebly blessed. I feel like somehow I've managed to become like a, I don't know, like a cryptic hipster or something. Ableist Frog was a nudist frog who wanted to exist but was chased by authorities and then became an MFT. I feel like I hate every word in that sentence more than the word that precedes it. And I don't know how that's possible. You're like living in the perfect bubble. I kinda am, Ludo. Sometimes it's real bad, honestly. Sometimes it's like, it's not a life that I'm happy to have, but sometimes it does seem to work out in my favor, and this is like one of them. Ableist Frog is Roadrunner for the internet generation. Why, like, how do you keep on coming up with sentences that are worse than the preceding sentence, Hive? This is a special skill. You managed to hit on a very special skill. And yet all entirely accurate. I do not know depressed bread. I only know annoying orange by name and nothing else. I do know Pilsy the squirrel, and Pilsy the squirrel kind of sucks. So there's that. Ableist Frog tries to position itself as an anti-establishment rebel. However, it is the penultimate expression of our anarcho-capitalist values. In this essay, I will. I love that. Is depressed bread, I made you a cookie, but I ate it. I do not know. That's emo culture! Well, see, Kronos, this is like, you know, it's like it's like the Frozen Caveman Lawyer sketch, except I'm way sexier than Phil Hartman, so, and also not dead. I had a Foamy the Squirrel phase as a team. I had a very brief Foamy the Squirrel phase as an adult, Quill, so don't look down on yourself too much. And I still, even though there's so many problems with the entire sketch and premise, I do like the Kevorkian scarf, and I still sometimes think of Kevorkian scarf every now and then. Oh, is that the bread? Because I have seen that scene, and I keep on forgetting about that anime and keep on telling myself I need to watch that anime and then not doing it. Amityville Toaster is unironically good. It was a web comic on DeviantArt. I was there on the ground floor. They looked like they looked like that Breadman anime. Gotcha. Scroll up. Oh. What am I missing? What am I missing? Alice says it's a bread that's very depressed and talks about hating life, and it was a mascot for a kid's TV show. That's a whole set of, like, words that I didn't expect to read today, Alice. But thank you. Thank you for bringing that into my life, because I kind of love that. That does seem like a big thing with a lot of anime, Chronos, is that if they don't hit it big enough, then you don't get the full story. The Foamy the Squirrel guy is absolutely a bigot and a right-wing loser. Sorry my voice is weird, I'm fixing my hair. Yeah, I'd read about that, Quill. And honestly, like, you could see it in the post. I'm trying to remember when I stopped caring enough to keep up. I think it was still kind of in early days, but already it was like, this is pretty iffy. And I can only imagine it got worse from there. Ludo says, I think you should have channel points so we can pay them to make you scroll up. That's... If I could do the channel points, then I would, but I can't because I can't actually set up my account for monetization. So, like, I've got... This is funny because this is the second time I've made affiliate. Like, I've checked all the boxes for affiliate, and I still can't do it because I can't monetize the channel. It's hilarious. But let me, let's see, Quill says the black squirrel was a dead giveaway, but I did talk to that guy through DMs when I was 16, and yeah, right-wing loser. I don't think I made it to the black squirrel, which is probably for the best. Is there just a way to make Twitch chat less easy too? Not sure. Hive, you're not wrong about the dirty foreign drug money or the dirty foreign support North Korea money. It's like one of those. I'd always buy illegal substances over Twitch subs. I mean, you know, yeah. Alice, unfortunately not really. Like, I can click on a user and look at chat history, so I don't necessarily like have to scroll up that far. I always just kind of forget that it's a thing that I can do. And Kronos has reminded me at least 3 times that I can do that thing. So this is not Kronos' fault. This is totally on me. You don't want to know about him. Given what I was already feeling about Foamy the Squirrel when I dropped off, combined with what you've said about them actually being a right-wing douchebag, adding those 2 points together, I can definitely say that I don't want to know anything about the Black Squirrel. Ludo says, I think you're going to rest easier with just accepting. Risa won't read every single message, Alice. That's how I do it. I mean, but if it is something that's like kind of connected to something I'm responding to, I think it's fair to just say, or to ask at least for me to scroll up. But yeah, sometimes I do miss stuff. He's both super racist and ableist. That's gross. That's really gross. What was I gonna say? Okay, but before we go back to levels, so this thing that happened today, I gotta tell you all about this thing that happened today, because this was a thing that happened, okay? So I needed to requisition some stuff, but I was kind of busy today, but the stuff was necessary, because my razors were all like, I didn't have any good razors, and then it turns my face into worse face than it normally is. But, so, like, you're okay, Alice, don't worry, like, you're fine. I do need to scroll up sometimes, but, so, and I was like, but I got this other stuff I gotta do today, so I'm just gonna go to the closest place that I could requisition from, which is the place I used to work at. And I went there, walked down. It was a nice day. It was a beautiful day out today. I got to the shop, and I got, like, stopped by no fewer than 3 people I used to work with who all kind of ganged up on me and were like, you have to come back and work here again. Yeah, I'm gonna co-sign and undersign what Hive has said. But they're like, you have to come back and work here again. Like, we need somebody here. The customers liked you and asked where you went when you disappeared and were disappointed that you were gone. They're like, the old boss is gone, and they're gonna the company lets people do whatever they want with their hair now. Which, now, the person who was selling that particular point, she was like, look, I changed my hair. And she changed her hair to, like, light brown. And I just wanted to be like, oh, honey, sit down before you get winded. But, like, but I don't know if you could do whatever you want with your hair, like, extends to hot pink or, like, blue. But, yes, Kronos, but more. This is like exponentially more, because like I was actually in the shop and they kept on coming up to me. And so I couldn't leave. I had stuff in my bag. I needed to go. I couldn't actually leave without making an appointment for a job interview. So, like, apparently I got a job interview with the Penguin on Monday. Donkey wants me back in the worst way. Like, it's I don't know. I feel like lots of ways about it, because okay, positive points. I would get more hours. And I definitely need the money. Oh, we didn't even talk about HRT stuff. Maybe we'll do that on the next break. But like I definitely need money. And this would be more hours, it would be more money. It's closer to where I live, so it's like walkable distance, even if I leave the house late. Wouldn't need to worry about a train unless it's like pouring rain. So that's like, that's a point in favor, definitely. I wouldn't smell like grease all the time, which is a huge point in favor. People are at least likely to wear masks, although that was the reason I left the last time. But it's like not like this job where the job requires them to not wear masks. The customers, that is. So that's there too. But like on the other side, it's a dead boring job and it gives me way too much time in my own head. That wasn't great the last time around. I've got like a pretty good working relationship with the people that I work with right now. So there's that. And Shin Okubo is way more interesting to have to spend time in than Ogikubo. Like, Shin Okubo is actually pretty cool. But, like, more hours means more money, more convenient schedule. I could go out after work without needing to shower first. I could wear my own clothes to work. Like, I could wear skirts and dresses to work, even if I have to change into a uniform, because I know that they won't stink when I leave work. So, I could do my nails. I did stream yesterday. How will you ever handle another person telling you that you made them feel bad for not wearing a mask? I mean, you know, there's that. There's that. Alice says, with the Batman villain and his co-owner, Dom Quixote. Oh my god. Des, we wrapped up Mackerel yesterday, actually. Or at least we wrapped up as much as I'm going to do on stream. We beat the final boss. We did a little bit of the post-game content. It was fun. So, I don't know. Like, now, like, all these folks I've been talking to have been pushing me to come back, but I haven't met the new boss of that shop, and it is certainly possible that I could still scotch the interview. Like, that is a possibility. But I do have a job now, so it's like, I kind of win either way. Did you ace Saba yesterday, Des? Shaking my head. Dom Quixote couldn't figure out a windmill wasn't a dragon, and now he's teaming up with the Penguin to make stores in Japan. Yeah, and making bank, Alice, and apparently being one of the better queer-friendly places to work in Japan. So, there's that. Des says, I spoke to the lead accessibility and technology director at Microsoft. Holy dogs. You're moving up in the world, Des. Luda says there's a banging 80s disco track from Spain called Don Quixote by Magazine 60, and I thought everyone should check it out. Well, let's just put that into the YouTube so I don't forget. So that was weird. I did successfully requisition my stuff, and we could be moving into a... We conceivably could be moving into a more money life, which would be nice. Magazine 60. Don Quixote. Is it a song about quiche? Because I've never had quiche, honestly. But that was my thing. That was kind of my big news. I don't know where that's gonna head, but hopefully it, like, I think if I do end up going back to Don Quixote, like, I don't think that it would affect our streaming schedule at all, because I think the shifts were like, Well, they were like 8 to 5, I think. So that would still be like fine for us. Des says, well, we managed to get him to attend a webinar on accessibility. Took months to get him, and he loved my questions about their products and what they cannot do and other issues. I'm like, it's me again, Des from the web team. I love that for you, Des. That is pretty slick. All right, I have said my story, and we've been sitting without games long enough, so let's get back to the games. And by games, I mean levels. You know, I was gonna show y'all, I spent last week, I think I spent like 5 or 6 hours working on a mock-up of the apartment from The Room, Silent Hill The Room, not The Room with Tommy Wiseau, that I was gonna use for that Room of Squirrel video that I put up on YouTube last week, and it ended up not working, so I was like, well, fudge that. But now I can't find that level on my moon, and I kind of hate it, because I really wanted to show everybody what I did get finished. I'll check out this level of the day, Comic Book Platform 2, The Unstoppable Oddsock by CBH7 Sun. Chrono says, I love how the level has most accurate in the title. It has the same energy as not clickbait or watch till the end. You're not wrong. Des says I'll be reaching out to him on LinkedIn soon and invited him to the training I do. I hope that it works out really well for you. Oh no. It uses pieces from the Marvel level pack that I can never access again, and I hate that for us. Also, I really like this. I do wish that it didn't, like, feel the need to call us a he, but, you know. It is very cool. I played the first in this series, like, ages and ages back. We played on a stream, I think. Isn't Oddsock canonically female? I honestly don't know. Hidunda? This meaty bad guy is stopping the unstoppable Oddsock pretty easily, actually, level. I feel like you're misrepresenting. Hold on, I want to catch what's going on here. Des says he's going on about what they can do with accessibility features. I came in with what it doesn't do and gets wrong. Use web aim and contrast checker. Okay. IT's decided that color contrast analyzer that IT themselves vetted and provided to us is now a security risk and have locked it down? What? I feel like there are a lot of... There's a lot of moving parts in that sentence, and I hate them all, Hive. Oh, fudge! Womp womp. Disco, what are you doing? This is just goofy. You're playing goofy. You need to play serious-like. I wonder what Alan Moore would think of the panel layout here. Do you think Alan Moore would support this? Chronos says, I wish the checkpoint had an output wire. What would you do with an output wire in a checkpoint, Chronos? And I mean this, I'm not, like, being snarky. I'm just trying to think of, like, what you would use it for. It's the Green Joker! Oh my god, Alice. You just made some Marvel fan cry, and I love that for you. Oh, these are neat little enemies. I like that. I could do so much if it had on activation and on respawn. You know, actually, you say that, Chronos, and I can see it. Which surprises me no small amount. This is pretty awesome. I'm enjoying this. Like, Emperor Nero, who was the Roman Joker? This is really cool, Hive. I am kind of fudging this part, and I hate that, but it does have a very well-used aesthetic. I find that CB7 Sun, who is the creator of this level, does really good job with flat camera, like, very two-dimensional looking levels. Because I've played other things that he's done. Not in... I mean, he's got one other comic book level that I've played, but he's done this kind of style in other levels, and it looks really, really good. It was very progressive of Rome to have a video game emperor. There's a lot going on right now in chat, and I don't understand it, and that's okay. I don't need to understand everything. But I certainly don't know what's going on with what y'all are saying. And also, I thought that Video Game Joker was Kefka. Didn't we talk about this last week? This is something that makes sense to Ludo, Alice, myself, and no one else in chat. That's okay. That's like 100% okay. I got no problems with that. I'm just saying. There's a Russian FPS called Neuro that I found and told Ludo, and they speedran. Dang, Ludo, so you've got the WR? Are you the only person in the world who has speedrun Neuro? You should be proud. Your mother should also be proud. Is Game Industry Joker Tommy Tallarico? Probably not. I mean, Tommy has the self-aggrandizement down. But as much of a jerk as he is, I don't think he actively wants to murder anybody. He might. He might. But I watched that H-Bomber Guy video, and I didn't get, like, murderer vibe from Tommy. You know, unrepentant liar, that's definitely a vibe from Tommy, but... I mean, that would make him a politician, I guess. Ludo says my mother is very proud. She should be. Wait, what, Alice? The main villain of it is Russian cyberpunk Tyler Durden. I hate that. I feel like I missed a little bit. Quill says makes perfect sense to me, and I definitely shouldn't be pressed on this simple truth. I will not press you. I will not press you at all. Now, Ludo, like, the Riddler is a cheater, but is the Riddler a liar? And Riddler as cheater, I think, is just one interpretation of the character. I don't know if it's the only interpretation of the character, but like, Riddler's riddles misdirect, but I don't think that he actually lies through his riddles, because I think that would like obviate what he's trying to do. The riddles have to be solvable. Everything Tommy says is a riddle if he's lying or not, but like it's not though, Ludo, because everything he says is a lie. Like everything he says is a lie. There's no riddle there. The riddle could be like, why is he lying? Or in what way is this particular statement false? But the question of the statement itself being false, I think, is kind of like set. Alice says, I said this in another space, but watching that H-Bomber video made me feel like I'm staring into the abyss of a lying conman. I mean, it's definitely some kind of abyss. Tommy's the Musk of games. But counterpoint, Quill, and I hate to say this, but Tommy is actually kind of successfully running his company. As awful as he is, like, the company's still around, still been doing business for like 30 years. I kind of feel like he actually beats Musk in that regard, and that's a lot. I never said he's a good riddler. That's not fair, Ludo. You can't, like... I feel like if you make a comparison to a character... And don't take this judgment too harshly. I'm not like pointing the finger strongly here, but like I feel like if you make a comparison to a character and you don't qualify that it's a bad version of the character, that most people are going to assume the most iconic version of the character or the version that they consider to be the best. So if you want to say like he's a bad Riddler, I think you need the bad in the statement as a qualifier. Flopple says Tommy has at least some talent. He's just also a lying liar who lies all the time. There you go. There you go. The Riddler's more trustworthy than Tommy. I posit that. Alice, I do posit that. Des and Hive, I know that you're like getting into it with accessibility details, and I just want you to know that's the reason that I haven't been reading through the messages, just because there's a lot. But don't stop. Please continue. I think it's great. Just that I might not read like every message that you're saying in the thread. Luda says it's true Tommy can play guitar, which is more than Musk's ever achieved. That's that. Quill says we don't know how well this company's going. His latest venture is an unmitigated scam. That's true. He's absolutely desperate for any cash he can get. Musk through and through. That's, yeah. Would the Riddler lie to investors? I don't know. I don't think he'd invest in either's ventures. I don't think he would, but... depending on like how we treat canon in the Batman universe... and how Batman the Animated Series fits into that, Riddler is actually a successful video game dev. That's not an unfair point, Floppable. Yeah. Alice says, thing about Riddler is he's originally some puzzle nerd, and the truth that was the ultimate puzzle was making a puzzle even Batman couldn't break. He's just a weirdo nerd that likes to play mind games and say, riddle me this. I mean, you're not wrong. Lies... Now... Hive, do you feel like it could still be a fair riddle if it's got a lie by omission? I'm trying to think of riddle construction here, and I'm not particularly good at it, so I'm not like 100% sure. Like, because riddles are based on misdirection, and lies by omission are a form of misdirection. A problem occurred when attempting to connect to the LBP servers. I love that. Hiduna says Tommy's mom didn't have an emerald mining empire, so that's a positive. That's true. Neither did the Riddler's mom. He's not riddling the investors, he's fleecing them for money to fund his riddles for Batman. Good point. Excellent point. Very good point. I'm in the same boat as you, Alice. With the ultimate goal that he wants to show up Batman. Also, that the Riddler's got, I've got to say, Riddler's got style. When Riddler goes for the like the green suit bowler hat getup that he wears sometimes, like that's a look. That's a look I can get behind. Quill says I will concede that we might know Tommy's mom is proud of him, which is more than we can say for Musk. She very well may be. Especially if she doesn't know the extent of his lying. Honestly, the Riddler is proof positive of nominative determinism. I'm gonna just like hang my whole butt here, Hive, and say I have no idea what nominative determinism is, and I don't feel ashamed for not knowing that, but it does mean I can't quite follow your point. Did Riddler ever meet Conan in the comics, then make a Riddle of Steel joke? Because I would love that. I mean, I feel like now you've got some, like an art commission, Ludo. That's like an art commission waiting to happen. Riddle me this, Conan! Lupin met Conan. What? You can't name your child Edward Nigma and not expect him to try to be a super mysterious problems guy. Okay. Okay, so the name... Nominative determinism. The name determines the function. Okay, I feel like slightly silly now that I didn't just figure that out from the words themselves, but... He met Conan twice. What the heck? Now, when you say Conan here, Alice, do you mean like Conan Child Detective, or do you mean Conan like Sumerian Barbarian? Because I feel like these are two very different things, and one is more likely than the other. That's not fair. I would be shocked if Lupin hadn't met Conan the Detective. If you got an enigma, everything looks like a riddle. I mean, yeah. Oh my god, Quill! Quill, there needs to be a persona called Lupin the Third. I see, we are ginning up art commissions left and right here. We need monies to commission artists to make these amazing ideas. Conan O'Brien Child Detective would... Okay, if Conan O'Brien played Conan the Child Detective, would it just be voice work so they could keep Conan like to be short, or would they use like 6'3" like actual Conan O'Brien? Because those would be very different aesthetics. so many bubbles. I was gonna say, is Tommy a Lupin, but Lupin actually has a heart, has done good, including losing heists to make people happy. Tommy cannot be a Lupin. I think that, like, that needs to be rejected. I would love that. Floppable, that would be amazing. Like a Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing? Where Conan is, like, still animated, but animated completely differently. Or, like a Space Jam thing, where Conan is, like live action Conan, but everybody else is just the anime Conan? Isn't Conan the child detective an adult detective who gets turned into a child, and therefore I think it would be fine to have Conan O'Brien voiced with a child actor? I mean, yeah, Hive, you're not wrong, but fine and funny are two different things. I posted something to stream announcement. Let me check this out. Oh, this is beautiful! Quill, this is amazing and I love it. It works, like, really, really well. Y'all should check out what Quill just put on the stream announcement, because it's cool. It's very cool. Hive says I have another suggestion. An animated child Conan with the Synchrovox of Conan O'Brien's actual... Oh my god! Oh, I hate that! Hive, I hate that so much! That is just ugly. Flopple says, hear me out though, an actual Conan, but pretending to be a child. So he's got a propeller hat and oversized lollipop because the filmmakers are hacks. That feels like an awful lot, Floppable, and I don't know about that. In a Space Jam setting, why though? What have we done? Floppable, how have we deserved that? Also, like, what do you want me to do, Level? Is there a switch I'm not seeing? You're a very beautiful Level, but I can't see where you want me to go. Oh, fudge, there's a power-up. The pitches are amazing. Hive, I love them. Except for the Synchrovox one. That's ugly. That's ugliness. Synchrovox is just... God, it's so bad. I understand how and why it exists, but I wish it didn't. That's a good talent, Floppable. Honestly, like, that's a pretty solid talent. Or at least it's a talent designed for fun. You know, the Synchrovox one is keeping in the spirit of something a late-night show host would do. You're not wrong. Hive, you're super not wrong. What if they pitch his voice up like a squirrel? A chipmunk? Why did I immediately just edit in squirrel into that sentence without even thinking about it? No! Alice, they're not. No! Alice! Chipmunks wish they could be squirrels. Chipmunks are just rats with racing stripes. And they're not even that cool, because rats are cool. Shaking my damn head. Quill says Oh my god, I can't even read this. Conan O'Barbarian, child detective, where Conan voices Conan, fused with Conan to solve mysteries in a barbarous world. Oh, Quill. Quill, that's good. Rats are cool. Hive, you're right. I should have considered that before I opened my mouth on that. Listen, like with most things from America, I just pretend chipmunks don't exist. Wow. Wow. Oh, I haven't watched it yet. Hive, I should. I'm so sorry. I haven't watched that. I'll watch that on the next break. Des says I'm freezing. I'm getting a cup of soup. Get your soup, Des, and please enjoy it. I hope it's delish. Now, Alvin, he's real. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that so much. And the worst thing about Alvin and the Chipmunks is they don't even have the racing stripes, which is like the one good point about the Chipmunks. They're like just vague rodents. Like at least Chip and Dale, like they look like chipmunks. What do Alvin and the Chipmunks even look like? They're just like, they're mutants. There are 4 Alvin and the Chipmunk live-action movies. I'm not shocked by this. I find this 0% shocking. I hate it, but I'm not shocked. The Chipmunk. Now that's a concept we can dig into. So, like, is it a D&D class, like a monk class, but they get all of their power from hot chips? Or is it a potato chip that's a monk? Now that would work as well, but I don't think it would work as well in D&D. Unless it's like some kind of magical construct. Oh my god! The Squeakquel? Shipwrecked? What the fudge? What the actual heck? Who is the genius who came up with those titles? I want to shake this person's hand. The road chip! Oh my god. This is too much. I neither respect nor want to watch those movies, but I have to say, I have to give credit where credit is due. Those are fabulous titles. I didn't know about the Squeakquel. That's an amazing title. That's a title from someone who understood the assignment and brought their complete A game to it. This music is very loud, and I kind of hate that for us. Wait, what? The road chip is from director of Tim Allen, John Travolta classic Wild Hogs? You are... Okay, just first the fact that there's a Tim Allen, John Travolta crossover movie? Now, is it a biker movie? Are they bikies? Are the hogs here like Harley Davidsons? Or are these actual hogs? I'm kind of disappointed, Hive. I was really kind of hoping that they were actual wild hogs. Arachno says I've seen the first 3. Are you happy about that, Arachno? Do you feel like that your life has been improved by having the first 3 Chipmunks movies in it? Hive says, I like how this stream is basically a writer's room. I love it. I honestly love it. He did the live-action Clifford the Big Red Dog from 2021. What the actual heck? I didn't know there was a live-action Clifford the Big Red Dog, and I don't know how I feel about that. It's about old men who want to be cool and run afoul of actual bikies. Wow, there's a lot going on in there. Are the actual bikies like hella racist? Like actual bikies? Os Melengard, how you doing today? I hope that you're doing really well. I hope that life is being extremely kind to you, or at least as kind as anyone could hope for right now. But it is very good to see you. Hi says, I don't know, I refuse to watch the movie. I would also refuse to watch that movie, because that sounds like trash. Pretty well, Melengard, as well as I can be. Life is all kind of life stuff, but I'm healthy. I have health insurance. There's a roof over my head and food in my belly, so, you know. Oh my god, I wish I could do the Marge Simpson as Don Corleone for your line there, Arachno. Look what they did to my boy. I can't do it. There's like that one TikTok, the girl does that voice, and it's just so perfect. Alice says, Tim Allen has a new Disney Plus reboot of the Santa Claus show, and it's about Christmas being cancelled. This is not a joke. Wow. Wow, Alice, I hate that. I hate that so much. I would really like Tim Allen to just never work again. Because he's just a giant D-bag. Glitchy LBP Earth, my beloved. I mean, it wouldn't be a stream without a glitchy LBP Earth, Kronos. Honestly, I'm here for it. I kind of wish that weren't true, but it really totally is. I would love it if Tim Allen would just never... You and me both, Quill. Like, honestly, you and me both. Tim Allen was never funny. Creepypasta House. Do I even wanna... Like, should we? Should we? We don't really get into, like, the really bad levels too often on stream. We actually look for things that are good. Alice says, I would prefer to watch all of According to Jim on repeat a million times than watch a single episode of Last Man Standing or any Allen project. Not wrong. Hive says, imagine if it was about Christmas being cancelled. Instead of solving the problem of Christmas being cancelled, someone startles Tim Allen Santa, and he falls off a roof and dies. I mean, I would be here for it. Okay, now, I think there's one thing that we should point out here. I feel like any level that is, like, creepypasta adjacent, there is at least some chance that there will be strobed lighting without warning. I can't say that for certain, obviously, because I haven't played the level, but I feel like there are levels that would lend themselves to that. So, I will just kind of as an early warning, there's a possibility that it could show up here. We'll cross our toes and hope, but... Hives says, reminder to everyone, Tim Allen becomes Santa by... Oh, it doesn't work with smaller parties? Well, you maybe do that whole build-up, and now we might not be able to play it. Tim Allen becomes Santa by startling Santa so much that he falls off the roof and died. I'm well aware of that, and I hate it. Smile dog. This sure takes me back. What about, like... I mean... Oh, so somebody's got to be the killers, somebody's got to be the survivors. I'll be a survivor, I guess. I don't want to be naked, though, so... Oh, I bet... Like, there probably isn't a killer to kill us, so... I wonder if this is going to be Dead by Daylight, but without NFTs. One can only hope. Because the NFTs are definitely what's keeping me out of Dead by Daylight. I guess you just win. You're probably right, Kronos. We should do like one of the... They're fabulous sofas. The company that does Dead by Daylight does NFTs? Yeah. I've woken the killer. I hate that. Well, there's killer music, but like, is there actually a killer? Yeah, it was pretty disappointing, Melon. Am I supposed to be able to get into this shaft here? The killer is preparing to play Mr. Brightside, not Mr. Brownstone, because I feel like those would be two very different things. If the killer is played by Axl Rose, I'm gonna be like I'm gonna be displeased. Maybe unhappy with that. They tried to save face by saying we didn't make NFTs, we just facilitated it. Oh, come on. I mean, that's not a come on directed at you, Hive. That's definitely at them. You're absolutely right, Melon. Like, that does not make it any better. Wait, what? The house killed me? The killer's gonna ask a difficult question. Are we man or are we dancer? But Hive, are we man or are we Astro Man? The house is the killer all along. Now, I have watched Japanese banger Houseu. I've also watched American Crap Fest House. So the house being the killer is, yeah, I could definitely go with that. But on the other hand, I did not get turned into a skeleton or a banana. My fingers were not chopped off by a piano. House MD, I needed to be extremely drunk to watch episodes of House MD, Ludo, which means I have seen some of it. And I hate it every minute. Have you watched the House sequels, though? I've seen House 2. I don't remember if I've seen House 3. And I definitely haven't seen House 4. Wait. House 4 is House 3 or House 4 the Midnight Meat Show? Because I think I've seen Midnight Meat Show, with the weird giggling villain. I've seen that, but I didn't know that it was a house movie. Did you watch House 5 House in the House? I hate that. Flopple says I really liked House MD when I was young. Though as an adult, yeah, you sure did cure... oof. Of the episodes that I did see, I definitely didn't see that one, Floppable, and I'm pretty glad that I didn't. There's also a pretty transphobic episode, because of course there is. Of course, there must be, right? Like, you just gotta have that. There is just nowhere good that's gonna go. Now, they did say that this level was unfinished, so... The platform won't lower if the dog is too close. Oh! Okay, dog, go over here for a second. Now we lower the platform. Now we dog. Arachnos says, I had to run out and find the exact line, but I legit saw a clip from the new Santa Claus where they unironically used this line in response to, how's the Christmas spirit? Alan responds, fine, except saying Merry Christmas to all has suddenly become problematic. What? This is a line that actually appears in a movie. This passed through a writer's room, and they were like, yeah, let's go with this. This is an idea. Flopple says, now it's given that it's an objective fact that ace people give the best hugs. Can you imagine a world without aces? Horrible. I mean, Floppable... First off, I'm glad that you went in that direction, because I feel like it could get really family unfriendly really quickly, but you're not wrong. We do give the best hugs. And I cannot imagine a world without aces, because then there would be a very noticeable percentage of my friends who would all just disappear, but also me. So, but I don't want to imagine a world without my friends. Arachno, as Kronos mentioned, it is family friendly. We all mess up sometimes, don't worry too much about it, but just kind of as a heads up. Alice says it's really Last Man Standing in Santa Claus. It's a show. I hate it. I hate it so much. Hive brings good news. Disney's new animated film grossed $800,000 in Tuesday previews, leading people to believe it'll be a flop because it will be. But wait, isn't like... Hold on a second. Like, isn't their new the new movie, isn't that the... It actually has pretty decent gay rep in it, and then they didn't market it at all, like Strange World or something like that. Like, is that a movie that we want to fail? Because I kind of feel like that's not necessarily a movie we want to fail. Arachno says, I have the link to the clip if anyone wants to subject themselves to it. Arachno, if you can... we want Disney to fail. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Arachno, if you whisper the link to Kronos or Hive, they can put the link in chat. I keep getting Black Friday emails. Is it nearly time for it? Des, Black Friday is today. Today is Black Friday. I don't know how to tell you this. Why is it black, not White Friday or Pink Blue Friday? Because in the beginning it was that the stores their books would be in the black because of all the sales that they would make on that day, as opposed to the books being in the red. What this is... the black in this case is good, because it means that the store is making a profit. Can I feel like this is kind of wonky. Like, maybe we're not supposed to raise it all the way, but then the dog just, like, it just tips backwards. I got face lasers for 50% off today, so who could say if Black Friday is good or bad? That sounds amazing! Quill! That's good! That's good Black Friday, I love that! I am very pleased for these lasers of face. You would rather be in the black than the red in your ledger? Yes. Because red represents debts? I mean, you're not wrong. Sorry about that. You're not wrong, Des, but it's just kind of an old-timey phrase. It's because of the black ink and the red ink, yes. That... what, assets would be written in black ink, and debts would be written in red ink. Like, debts is not the word that I want. Like, money going out was represented with red ink, and money coming in was represented in black. I think White Friday would have sounded more questionable. You're not wrong, Ludo. That wouldn't have necessarily been a better choice. I saw somebody was mentioning on the Tumblrs today that all the sales that they looked at, like, none of them are actually sales. Like, that none of the prices had actually changed. Rainbow Friday would be better. I could get through it. I could be there for Rainbow Friday. Is this LBP 1? I'm not sure, Kronos. It's very awkward. Rainbow Friday to get that pink dollar. I kind of hate that. Honestly, I kind of hate that, Ludo. Try the button on the right. Oh, Kronos. Super genius. There you go. This is, for being an unfinished level, this actually just isn't that bad. Like, this is kind of a neat level. Wait, do I have to take the dog in the Dealy Bopper? That can't be right. It would be hilarious to see a Tim Allen movie about how calling it Black Friday is now politically incorrect. But Ludo, that would mean that we would have another Tim Allen movie. It has visible logic, so it has to be LBP 1, right? I mean... No? Kronos? Like, I used visible logic in my, my checkpoint tutorial level. So I don't think it 100% follows that it's gotta be LBP1. Oh, fudge. Old interactive music in the magnetic keys and switches. But like... Yeah, but also... Wait, how do I get up there? Oh, the dog... is keeping it from moving. Like, I copy-pasted a bunch of old logic bits from one of my old levels, and I just put them in the tutorial. It can also be early LBP2 if the creator is still working in the idiom of LBP1. There's that. But you're not... Oh, wait. Fudge, did I mix y'all up again? I didn't say that, Hive did. Oh gosh, Fudge, I am sorry. Darn it. I don't mean to keep mixing the two of y'all up again, and I don't know why that keeps happening. So like, do I need to hang on to... I killed the dog! Oh god, I am so sorry. I hope this dog respawns. Every day my cat wraps himself in his brother's blanket. I dare not wash it, since his brother's no longer with us. Oh my gosh, Des... Hopefully the blanket doesn't get, like... too manky, because that could be kind of... You might want to wash it at some point. Well, wait, what do you want me to do? Level, I'm honestly kind of confused here. I'd also like to argue if this were LBP2, this would mean they used all LBP1 for sake of aesthetics all the way down to the music piece, and I don't believe the level's doing that. Alright. Well, I mean, I can... Actually, I don't know if that would work. Like, when you publish things in an adventure, does it Well, no, it would just take the Adventures published date, wouldn't it? Level, where are we going here? I see you've got the logic bit over here, but, like, what did it actually do? I can't ride the... I can't ride this myself. Getting the dog up top doesn't seem to do anything. Like, the dog is back, yes. This is, I know, it's so sweet. It's actually Jacinta's baby blanket from the hospital. Oh my gosh. Looks like the dog has to go to a basket thing up on top. Okay. So... But I can't seem to pull the dog into the basket. This poor dog. Right, like I can kind of see, obscured by the horrible gas. I killed the dog again. I'm a dog murderer. And I hate that for me. Dog, but spelled in the cool way, D-A-W-G. Okay, dog, I need you to work with me here, okay? Okay? Alright, so we're riding it up. And then... Oh! We did it! And... Yeah? Go... us? What? I mean, but it didn't actually open anything? What do you want, Level? The dog is in the basket. This sounds like an old-timey spy movie phrase. Like, there's a fish in my pocket, the dog is in the basket. It did say it was unfinished, this is true. So maybe this is the part where they got stuck? But I was having fun with this. This was actually kind of cool. I'm a wee bit disappointed that we can't... Maybe that was the ending. The real journey was the friends we made along the way. You're not wrong. Zanen. That was a neat little bit of kit, though. I appreciate that. Have you tried going back through earlier levels to find things that you missed? You know, I would love to do that, Sumo, except every time that I leave story mode, it just completely resets my progress back to 0. So, no, actually, I haven't done that. I've thought a number of times, like, maybe we could do LBP3 on stream as a thing. But we can't do that because I would have to do an 8-hour stream. And that's not going to happen. So no, Sumo, I haven't. But thank you. It was a nice thought. Jerks. Sorry, I'm a little bit salty. I mean, I actually have thought about doing LBP, like, as a long form, so that we could kind of go through, and I could look at the levels in the story mode in kind of the same framework that I look at levels for the show. But we can't. And that's kind of poop. Now, I am going to take another short break, because we are at the 2-hour point, and I don't know, maybe when I come back we'll talk about HRT stuff, but I don't know, because, like, we're actually in a good mood. But I think I could be in a good mood about that too. That's not necessarily bad news. It's just kind of like a lot. But we'll talk about that when we get back, maybe. And yeah, 5 minutes. Hive, Kronos, you've got the chat. Oh crud, I missed Hirunda leaving. Hirunda, I don't imagine you're still in chat, but if you are, I hope that you sleep really well. It was really nice having you hang out with us a bit tonight. Hopefully no bad dreams for you. I'm gonna have a cigarette and just kind of blorble for a bit. Maybe I can go into like a level. Actually, you know what? I do need to do a little bit of create mode to set up some recording stuff. So why don't we do that? And we can talk. If I could figure out where's the haunted house. That's the one. Gotta do the haunted house because we're gonna do the actually I should look up this thing. Oh crumbs, I didn't watch the rats thing. Hive, I promise I will watch the rats thing. Oh, yes, okay. Accept that. And I gotta check. See if I can't find this information really quick. So I can kind of quotation. It's on a different Discord, so I gotta kind of search around for it. Do 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 do. Alright. Now, what do I need to flip over really quick so I get that out of the way? We need the calendar to be on the 2nd of December. This part is it's just a giant pain in the butt, and I hate it. You go to 2, you go to 3, and you need to be on O2, so that's O, good. And over to 3. (12:02). Oh, good. Yes. And we need the timer to be on 3 minutes, 19 seconds. So let's see. Seconds 1, that should go to 10, I think. Fudge. I fudged that. And this should be on 2. And that should make it okay. 3 minutes, 19 seconds. Perfection. Dupe that back in. Nope, don't open that one. That's just silly. I do hate all these wires. And why don't I just turn them off? Yes, hide the wires when it's closed. Makes it a little bit easier to deal with. We need the music, which will be Wandering Death. Set to probably 68 for the sound test. And then we just need to change the picture because the grade is not going to change because no, do not want to be in here. That will crash my game. Possibly. Oops. Paint mode is a little bit dodgy. Sometimes paint mode will cause the game to crash. There we go. Y'all get a preview of next week's episode. I think that we're done here, actually. Oops, I crashed your game again. Teehee. That is why... Kronos, that's why the kanji school is, so sparse. Because I had it almost completed. This is the thing, okay? I had that level almost completed. Months of hard work. I was doing a little bit of last-minute decoration, making up some posters in paint mode. I was making a poster using the, I was going to do a mock-up of the image from Action Mutante. And it crashed, corrupted the entire file. I didn't have, like, a more recent backup file. So I lost something like 2 months of work. And then the servers were getting shut down, so it was like, oh, well, that's great, that's nifty. Guess we're just not going to be able to finish the kanji school then. I was pretty darn salty about that. That was me being salty. Oh, you... I don't think we actually want to see you. One thing I gotta say, the change from the old music objects to the new music synthesizer, just on a visual level, is terrible. I hate the way that music synthesizers look. I think they look ugly as heck. How do I make you disappear? I need you to disappear. Visual. There. And I think we're set up. I can do the recording tomorrow. But it's new and fresh, and it has no charm. Kronos, like, it as a pure physical object, it just doesn't have charm to it. Thank you so much, Melangard. It took a little bit for me to kind of get to the point where I liked it, and I still think, like, the first floor here is a little bit too much, but I have kind of come around on it, and I ended up liking it. I like it a lot more than I did when I first put it together. It did turn out pretty well. I kind of don't, honestly, like, I kind of don't like the appearing and disappearing ghosts here. Yeah, I wanted to have those kind of, like, German expressionism shapes to the doorways and windows, where things are kind of oversized and oddly angled. I feel a little bit like with this hub, I kind of feel like I tried to do two different things at the same time, and because I was balancing two different modes of presentation, that it doesn't quite mesh together very well, because parts of it are that oversized, oddly angled, odd shaping to them, but then parts of them are kind of like real world in detailing, and I feel like I should have done one or the other, but not really both. So that's kind of what was pulling it down a bit for me. But I do end up liking it in the end. I really like the ghost, and Phantom Strom, I gotta thank you for the ghost, because I made this ghost specifically because of the ghosts that were in your Trouble in Halloween level. I really found those very charming, and I wanted to see if I could get the material looking the same way as you did. I'm trying to remember... Thank you, Melangard. I really appreciate that. Like, sometimes it's a little bit hard, and I'm sure that you felt the same way. It's kind of hard to look at something as a creator and seeing it in the way that other people see it, and it can be pretty easy to judge the things that you're making overly harshly. I mean, we should have a critical eye when we look at our own work, but it can be easy to be too critical about what we've made. I like that the ghost actually looks at you. This worked out for me pretty well, this chap here. And it's so simple. Like, this is just pure LBP1. The material stuff is a little bit, but like the actual thing, no, it's just LBP1 movers. And we got like sticker panel over top of portal material. Just playing around with the settings and portal material. And this was just... How did we make this work, actually? I think there's a thick piece... Yeah, there's a thick piece of sticker panel here that this eye is actually bolted to on just a regular bolt with 0 strength. And then you've got the follower on there. And then I glued the ghost itself to the sticker panel, which is one way that you can get kind of like, you can get an effect where you've got a thin material piece that's moving, that's set on top of another thin material piece. I tend to use that technique a lot because I do a lot of layering with thin pieces to get like little variations in depth. When you're creating something, you always have your dream outcome in mind. So when something doesn't look exactly like you imagined, it's easy to just say it's bad when in reality it's just not perfect. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. And it's hard to like keep that balance where you're like being honestly critical of what you've made so that you can find flaws in what you've made and you can make improvements to it without being overly harsh and then you just end up scrapping everything. But I think this set is pretty set up. I might do something in the future with these windows, like just having... I kind of like the effect of the windows being stacked and having them float in space like this. So I might do something with like extremely minimal actual set design, like have the windows propped up with what are they called? Not pistons, but I can check. I know the thing I'm thinking of, but I can't think of the name. Rods. Like, just having things, like, set with rods, kind of forming off lines. Chrono says, speaking of which, I've been going on maximum overdrive for my drawing since November is almost over. I need to pick up the pace. I probably won't have time to shade everything, so I'll have to get creative. I wish you the best of luck with that, Kronos. I know that's it's a bit of a tall order, but hopefully you'll find something that gives you the feel that you want. I will say that with this one, my initial idea of having... The reason that we've got these, like, red sticker panels is originally there was going to be, like, sticker paneling effects that would be visible to the degree that the light was brightened. And so they would be like blood stains that only showed up within the radius of the light. That actually didn't end up looking very good. Oh, Quill! Thank you so much for dropping by tonight. It's always appreciated having you here. I hope that you sleep very well and that you have an excellent day tomorrow. And I do hope, I've got my toes crossed, but I do hope that, like, your mom doesn't give you too much static. Because that's a hard situation to deal with. But thank you so much for dropping by. Like, the appearing bloodstains, they didn't really look right. And I think in the end it was better that they were taken out. But we did keep that effect with the ghost on the ceiling. So when the ghost is outside of these bubbles, it's completely invisible. And when the light is at its lowest point, the ghost is invisible. And then it cycles into visibility with how bright the light is. And I thought that was kind of neat. That one worked out for me. I don't know if this costume works for me, but the effect works pretty well. I wonder, like... I like this one. The image that I had in my mind for what I wanted it to be was... Eventually it just didn't look right because of the way that the sticker paneling looked, but... Like, it did... This part turned out pretty good. So I could be proud of that one. Now, I wonder... I do need to save this. But I wonder where the heck I put that thing I was making. Because I did want to show that off tonight, but... I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I've got too many levels on my moon, and I was very silly, and I didn't name the level, and there's like 3 unnamed levels on my moon. And it's like, basically, why did you do that? Like, honestly... Oh good, it's saved. Excellent. Let's return to the pod. Doop doop. Oopta doopta. I had a ton of unnamed projects. It's like, it's all fun and games until you spend like a week not working on something, and then there's just no finding it again. Like, that's the water test bed. That's... I know what that is. I don't think I erased it, but... I remember where it is. I don't gotta worry. Kronos, honestly, the mood on that is... real. I don't... That's the street hub. We were working on that a couple months ago. So at least I named that one. I know it's not that one. I don't think that I put a sticker on it. I'm pretty sure it's non-stickered. That's the sushi train. Like how I used to use acronyms when writing notes in school and then not know what any of them mean days later. Oh my god. Kronos? Seriously, cut from the same cloth. I did the same freaking thing. That's YT intro. Infernus, you're the rodent. Like, it's not any of those. Has beans, it's not that. I don't think it's this one. I think that this is the... Right, this was just making the stickers so I can make a panel for the show that we did last week. And honestly, like, I don't need this anymore, so I might as well get rid of it just so I don't have it on my moon, confusing me. There's nothing in here. Yeah, there's nothing in here. So we get rid of this at least. Yo, I I I kind of think that I might have just either not saved the level because I was really unhappy with how it was turning out, or like actually deleted all the objects. Okay, that one, we can get rid of that one. Let's do it right away. Twitch title card, it ain't that. I swear to God. It's not tutorials. We looked at that already. Risco, why do you even do this to yourself? Maybe it's this one? I honestly don't know. If I don't find it here, I'll just go play some levels, I guess. Shoot. This is the color test. Oh! Wait, it's in the same room as the color test? Oh my god. Womp womp. So this was going to be a mock-up of the apartment from Silent Hill 4. And I wish I could put a picture on the screen to show you. There's a lot of it that's not made because the cameras weren't going to show it. But it's decently accurate to at least the physicality of the set. And then it was going to show the hallway on the outside, and I was going to have, like, dancing evil rabbits. It just didn't, like, it just didn't click. Part of it was just that like, making the set as a physical object wasn't that bad, but getting it looking right, like the weathering on the walls and making it look kind of run down and decrepit. And I was having a really hard time nailing that look. Sizing was a bit of an issue too. I can put up, let me see if I can't find an original image. And I could put that in chat. Silent Hill the room door. Can I just look at the picture? I want a dead-on picture of the door. Gosh darn it. Work with me here. Give me 2 shakes. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. The worst thing is, like, I've got a really good one saved on my computer, but obviously that's not going to help anybody. Can I open this in new tab? Open image in new tab. Oh my god, it's tiny. Why, game? And by game, I mean computer. Why do you gotta be like this? I'm trying to show the people something. The people demand. Honestly, the people demand nothing, but, like, I do actually want to show this off. Alright, I'll give it one last shot. Open picture in new tab. That's not exactly the angle that I want, but it'll have to do for right now. So hopefully you'll be able to see that. I know it's like a big ugly butt link, but that was kind of the thing I was looking at, but it just yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, I just really wasn't super happy with it. And it kind of worked out. Boop. All right, let's find some levels and we'll hopefully not crash the game. Feeding cat. No worries. No worries. We will hopefully be here when you get back. These cats, you know, they're not going to feed themselves. Or they might feed themselves, but, like, probably not in a way that you would appreciate. And what can we find? Probably got time for, like, maybe 2 more shorter levels. Climbing sewer... No. No. Did we look at Volcano Islands? I thought maybe we did, but it doesn't have a played already sticker on it, so fingers crossed. Wait, why does this feel familiar? Did we... No? We didn't play this before, have we? Because we did do a volcano level not that long ago, and it wasn't very good. And volcano levels do tend to look fairly samey. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I mean, this feels kind of new. Maybe we're okay. I don't remember the one from the other week having quite so many score bubbles. It does look familiar, but it doesn't seem bad yet. I'm glad that you remember the one from last week, because, like, yeah, it did. The one last week, I feel like it fell apart pretty quickly. This one's not that bad, though. This material, though, I don't know why, but it just never seems to work when it's used big like this. There's something about the texture, but... Because the level that we looked at for the show today, it's got the same issue. Like, the texture just looks so blah. Did you know that 0.1 in CZ was going to use this as base material for the caves? I did not know that, and I think that you were probably better off not having gone with that. Because, yeah, just like... I feel like it makes a good highlight material, but not... That was a very loud pop. Not all stretched out and big like this. And I swear, like, everybody uses it. Every mountains level, every caves level, they all use this material. Why did you put the checkpoint way back here? Like, that was not necessary. That was not called for. Okay, don't jump on that. Thank you. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's not the worst way they could have gotten that done. It has its charm. Doo 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 doo. Oh no. These aren't like we can actually get past here. Okay, good. I was afraid that like the random distribution of those was going to keep it from us actually being able to get past. Chronos says, reminds me of a level LSRS played on stream. It was a temple-themed level where the design unintentionally got more and more arbitrary and questionable by the minute, and he was just slowly losing his mind. Oh my god. Probably the funniest level he's ever played. Does LSRS have the streams archived on YouTube? I should look into that. And Alice says, Till I've been looking at DIY HRT stuff, and apparently some pharmacy in Portugal sells estradiol over the counter without needing a prescription. Funny you mentioned that, Alice, because I've also been thinking about the DIYing of the HRT, because I was talking to a nice MB kid over here who has been doing, well, had been doing the HRT, like, through official channels, and it sounds awful. Like, Japan's system just sounds like a complete mess. I tell you, talking to this kid, I'm glad that, like, I had a chance to sit down with them. Well, not sit down with them, but, like, talk to them on Discord. But listening to their experience, and it really took a lot of the wind out of my sails. Oh, yeah, it was, like... Okay, let me pause up here and pull this up, because this is what I was actually looking for earlier. 2 seconds. Da 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 da. Wait, where was the... Okay, here we are. So... We've got... 30,000 yen for blood work. Had to get that. A wait of upwards to a year to even get diagnosed, because you have to be diagnosed with actual GID. We had a chromosome test that was 20,000 yen, an IQ test, a personality test together with the IQ test that was 5,000 yen, 5 visits to a hospital, and then, like, you're getting billed every step of the way here. The HRT that they prescribe is, like, just super low dosage, and they don't prescribe any T blocker. So it's kind of like... I mean, yeah, Hive, seriously, because you probably remember, but, like, when I kind of figured my stuff out in that first, like, couple of months, And I remember having like serious, honest, like panic attacks over just the concept that I was gonna have to prove to some doctor that like this stuff was real, and how to make that work, and like what does that even look like. And mostly that level of fear has dropped down as I've kind of come to know myself and being like, no, I know who I am. That's cool. And then reading through this, and it's like IQ test, personality test, like at least 5 visits to the city hospital, a year's wait with counseling, and it's like all of that all over again. And then at the end result be like, okay, so here's your HRT, it's not going to do anything. Why would you not do DIY at that point? Though apparently a lot of the pharmacies here sell in specific ethinyl estradiol, which apparently causes issues compared to regular estradiol. Because I can read. I do hope that you find the right one. Yeah. The one thing, so from this conversation with this kid though, is so they went through this entire process. It was not working for them. Like they got the paperwork side of it, which seems like at least there's that, but because they're non-binary, like it doesn't really count for much, because most of the paperwork and stuff is like set up for binary trans folks. But the kind of the medical side of it wasn't working for them, so they're like, well, just bugger this for a game of soldiers, gonna do this on DIY. And they found like a good reliable website that they go through. Prices look really good. Like the prices look pretty fab. And like as long as the whatever it is that you're buying, no X-gender, no cross-gender stuff. I always have to remember when talking about Japanese that X is read as cross. There's not like it didn't sound like they got a paper that said like, okay, yeah, you're non-binary, but it didn't sound like they could do anything with that really, except for I think that allowed them to use their insurance to cover some of the kind of office type stuff, but the insurance doesn't cover medication even if you're diagnosed, and it doesn't cover any of the surgeries. So it's like, what's the point? Alice says, my dad works in a local hospital pharmacy, so maybe I can ask him to look around some hospital pharmacies, have connections to local private pharmacies. I hope that your doc can help you that way. Is your like, wait. We can run on the lava and it doesn't kill us. What? Oh wait, but now it does? What? Is your family, and I'm hoping the answer is yes, but is your family like broadly supportive of your transition, Alice? Like if you talk to your dad about this, your dad and your mom are. That's really good. I'm really, really happy to hear that. Cause that could be a lot to deal with. Wait, what? I'm guessing here, Des, that like private pharmacies as in they're not directly attached to the hospital? I don't want to put words in Alice's mouth, but that's kind of how it reads to me. So like, yeah, okay. Yeah, like a drugstore. Or I suppose because Des is in merry old England, that they would be a chemist? Des, do they still call them chemists? And honestly, I kind of like chemist better than pharmacy, but that's just me. It sounds like super old-timey, Okay, so they're still called chemists. Because in the States you've got pharmacies and you've got drugstores, and they largely serve the same purpose. But drugstores are often like more of an all-purpose shop that has a pharmacy attached to them. Like Walgreens would be a drugstore, but not necessarily what I would consider to be a pharmacy. Because usually like a pharmacist or a pharmacy shop would be like specifically for medications and medical devices. Both terms are in use in the UK. So like in the States, we don't use the term chemist. I don't know if we ever have. Hive says you call them chemists there. That's like, I know it sounds probably really goofy, but I find that deeply charming. Why not call that apothecaries? Oh my god, I would love that. Hive, I would honestly love that. Apothecary is such a word. Oh shoot! Oh, double shoot! Okay, I'm having feelings about this level. I feel like the wheels are starting to come off. Apothecaries! That's so cool! Alice says there are hospital pharmacies which are related to the hospital, and then there's pharmacies here which are private stores not owned by the hospital or the state that are tied to local private healthcare groups that sell drugs, like drugs and medication. Gotcha. Oh my gosh, Kronos, are you doing like the archive binge? That's dedication, and I love it. Go down to the apothecary to get your healing tincture. Oh my god, Hive. Unironically, you have no idea how happy that makes me. Tincture is such a great word. Like, can we bring back the old-timey words that are not also racist? You know, if your backlog's dry, I could check the LSRS archive and pull out levels that look interesting. Kronos, I might actually do that. Although, like, we are coming pretty close to the end of stream because I do have work tomorrow. I might put that together. Des, do you have your streams up on YouTube? Did you ever put those up there? Oh my gosh, why did you do this? What? Medication is mostly very cheap here. This is a good thing. Oh, you didn't? Okay, this is hell. Also, I'm really happy that you've got some price controls in medication, Alice. Cause that's a whole thing in the States, and it's ugly. It's real ugly. Which is like, I don't know, reason 1 million that I would really hate to have to move back to the States. Hive says we have a pharmaceuticals benefit scheme over here that subsidizes a bunch of medications, but not all. The US has got massive problems with healthcare medication, Des. Like, there's no way around it. It's honestly shameful. And the fact that, like, so many people are like, no, but actually this is okay. And not even, like, people that you would expect for it to be like, this is okay. You know, people who are actually directly benefiting from it. but just like regular folks that are like, oh no, well, we wouldn't want like subsidized medications or free healthcare. That would be all kinds of socialist, and we can't have that. Like, it literally makes me want to scream. Kind of like this level. Our right wing want to make it more like the US. I hate that for you, Hive. This level kind of has the same vibes as the temple level. This level has like rapidly resolved itself into a whole mess. And I honestly might bounce out because we are already at the 3-hour point. Like, why would you make it like this? Oh, fudge you! Fudge you! With all the fudge. And there's no... Oh... No! 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 Why did X do that when I did that and then just repeat that for 20 minutes? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. Why would you put the checkpoint so far back when you've got such a finicky obstacle up here? Alright, this is going to be the last shot, because I do honestly have to think about time, but I am not a fan here. J&J using asbestos in their talcum powder for years and years. Oh, I hate that. That's all kinds of ugly. Please be over. Please be over. Why? No. No. Why? Why? Why would you do this? Oh my god. Why you gotta be like this, level? Honestly, why you gotta be like this? I thought we had a nice thing going. I thought everything was all chill and or copacetic. And no, you just gotta go and be like this. You're hateful, level. That's what it is. You are a hateful turd burger. I said it. Oh, Kronos, that reminds me. Remember that cardboard level that we played on the last stream? Apparently that was stolen. The dude who posted that got all those plays in the team picks. Yeah, he apparently he stole that level. Yeah, I'm pretty not happy about that. Cause I did like that level, and I did put a heart on it. So I feel like I got used. This is part 2 of the Cursed Temple. This is cursed. It's seriously cursed. It's uncalled for. Are you not finished yet? I don't want to enter your bonus area. Go to hell. You and your bonus area can go to hell. I got the Angie face. Yo, there's a bonus area. Cancer is only ever going to increase. You know, if 9 months, so that's 7 gets you to January, and then 2 back, that gets you to November. If folks would stop like getting jiggy with it in November, then cancers would just by necessity decrease. I'm saying, I know that November's cold, and when a daddy and a mommy are cold and love each other very much, and sometimes babies result, but um, if you just see the whole no doing that thing in November is to decrease cancer is the thing. I'm making a joke just to kind of end the stream on something a little bit less serious. Although no dig against Des or Hive, because the point that you're discussing is a really important one. It's a really good one. Probably something that would be good for an Isaac stream, because then we could swear as much as the medical industry would like to make me swear. Wait, no. Take the like out of that sentence. The medical industry probably doesn't want me to swear, but I want to swear when we talk about the medical industry. No cancer on remote islands. I wonder about that. I mean, cancer's been around for a long time, Des. Like, that's... I mean, cancer's definitely increasing because of modern stuff, but I got a feeling like cancer is probably everywhere. Hive, that emote is definitely a feeling. The sun also does cause cancer. That is true. That is true. Kronos says, if I ever reinstall, I'm going to play that and find out what secrets it has in store. Kronos, you are a brave lad. And this is one of many reasons why we love you. Leg? Wait, hold on. What is leg? I gotta scroll up a little bit. It's just leg. Oh, hi. We are Borg 9901. Water can kill you if you hold somebody under it long enough. I'm so sorry. We are Borg. I love having you here, but I am just wrapping up the chat right now, because it's been 3 hours and I gotta go to bed. But welcome, even if it was just for a little bit. Even if it was just for a little bit. Everyone, I had a really good night tonight. This was kind of wild and woolly as far as media deep dives, which I super appreciated. I didn't know that I could learn so much about Alvin and the Chipmunks. And thank you for listening to me kind of noodle my way through this whole penguin stuff. Don't know what we're going to do with that yet, but we'll figure it out. We've got until Monday to figure it out. And also the HRT stuff. Thanks. I do appreciate you kind of listening to me whinge about that. But Melangard, thank you so much. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I've got to find that tweet and send it to you, Kronos, about the Persona 5 classrooms, because it's a banger. It's a classic. But that does bring us pretty much towards the end. As always, I'll ask everybody to please be drinking as much water or electrolyte-filled substance that your body needs. Try to eat at least one meal a day, even if it's food that people usually call trash, just to have food in your body. It's worth it. If you can, of course. If you got medications, take them as close to schedule as you can. Des, I would love to play Fall Guys with you someday. Not tonight, but someday I would like that. And try to remember that there are a lot of people out there that are rooting for you, that want you to have a good life, that want you to be safe and happy. I'm one of those people, but I'm definitely not the only one. And that pretty much does it for us here this go about. So from me, Risco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao.